Hello, everyone. How does one that spent time on welfare as a child grow up to be financially successful enough to be able to splurge on a phone game like Empires and Puzzles and own this beautiful home in the Caribbean? Was it the lottery, an inheritance, an insanely high paying job? No, it was not any of these. It was as simple as learning to become financially fluent and sound through basic principles that anyone can apply. Just like I enjoy sharing knowledge that I have learned while playing Empires and Puzzles, I also enjoy sharing knowledge on becoming financially strong through multiple income streams and smart investments. In addition to my books about Empires and Puzzles, one can also find my book, Build $1 Million Net Worth While Achieving Perfect Credit on Amazon. In this book, I detail all the secrets of my financial success. These strategies help me get ahead. Maybe they can help you too. Look for the link in the description below. Welcome to another Empires and Puzzles books video. Today we are going to be comparing Morel and Frigg. So there's been some conversation around these two heroes because they are fairly similar. They are both fast defense down heroes, which is very desirable. But based on conversations I'm seeing, there seems to be confusion as to which one of these two heroes is actually better and better for what. So I am going to go ahead and give you the breakdown here, and then I'll give you a summary at the end. So let's jump right in and start looking at these two. So first point of comparison is their mana speed. They are both fast, so that is a tie. No surprise there. For the actual attack stat, now this affects tile damage, the slash attack from defense, and obviously gets applied to special attacks. So having a higher attack number is important. Morel's is higher at 772 compared to Frigg's 753, so it's about 2.5% more attack. That might become more relevant a little later. So looking at defense, Frigg gets the win here with 760 to Morel 745, so it's about 2% higher defense. But then things swing back to Morel for health, 1452 to Frigg's 1320. So that's giving an advantage in health by a larger margin because that's 10% more health. And when we look at the power of the cards, this is not really a surprise since Morel's season 4 and they're rated higher than Frigg being season 3. So that's 807 to 786. I can't for the life of me tell you what the power number really means or matters other than a general guide on strength. But there's definitely some heroes with higher power numbers than others that I do not feel are stronger. But hey, I'm not Small Giant, and I'm not the one that put these ratings on these cards. But what I do is I look at a number which is when you double defense, so 2 times D, and add health to it. That gives a sense to me of how sturdy a hero is. And with that 10% extra power, or excuse me, 10% extra health from Morel, he definitely wins the 2 times D plus health number. That's about 3.5% advantage to Morel on that. Now, when we're looking at putting emblems on these heroes, they both can get a 2% mana node increase. And I would not discount the value of that 2%. My Frigg is firing in 7 tiles now without a level 29 troop. So 2% is something valuable on a fast hero, at least in my opinion. But they're tied there, so they both get the green light. Same for critical node. They both have a 4% critical node, so no super advantage to either of them on crit. Now, when we look at the attack node, they're almost identical, except for the one where there's like kind of an attack bonus. For whatever reason, Morel's is 1 point higher, so you can get one more attack stat on Morel over Frigg, so another win for Morel, although not the biggest win. Defense, they're identical. If you go all defense nodes, they can both get to another 112 defense added, which is a tie. And then health is another spot where Morel really breaks away from Frigg in a healthy way, no pun intended. But his health stat, if you do all health nodes, will be considerably higher than Frigg's. Another point of comparison is the bonus on the emblem chart. They both have the healing bonus, so no advantage to either hero there if you're somebody who likes the healing bonus. So let's compare their class. Ranger versus Rogue. In this specific instance, I am definitely giving the favor to Rogue, as you can dodge all the time on attack or defense. But the Ranger class the ability to bypass defensive buff, that's only relevant if there happens to be a defensive buff. So otherwise, that's a pretty valueless class to have. So there are some situations where that's obviously ideal. However, the rogue class is kind of ideal everywhere. I think we've all thrown something at Frigg and had it miss and been frustrated. So that is a huge advantage to Frigg. So we have the family bonus for Morel being season 4 versus the realm bonus for Frigg, and that is a clear win to me for Morel. So the family bonus for season 4 is the ability to create that tile on the board that gives little snipe attacks every turn until it's removed. I think that is a huge advantage compared to Frigg's realm bonus is just 2% health added to all allies when she gets to low health. So that's kind of a one-hit 2% increase on health. I would take a consistent attack from a tile that's annoying the enemy over that 2% health increase. Passive skill, Frigg doesn't have any, so she gets a 0 here. The check mark, the X goes to Morel, who gets that 30% added damage on his very first hit, which makes his first hit even stronger than Frigg's. So something to look out for there. And then moving down the line, we got to talk about the offensive attack special. And now this is where things get really interesting in comparing these two heroes, because Morel's attack special is fixed. It's static at a 772 attack at 180%. Now this is, again, zooming base cards. That's what we're comparing without emblem path confusing things. So Morel's just going to attack 772 at 180%. That is what it is. Frigg's attack is lower at 753 and only hits at 100%, but she gets an 18% increase in her attack stat for every nature tile on the board. So what does that mean? At 5 nature tiles on the board, they hit roughly the same. Frigg's is slightly harder, but 5 is the sweet spot. Anything over 6 tiles and the advantage goes to Frigg in a big way. So the question is, how many times does this happen on offense? So I wanted to figure out a way to measure this, and what I did is I went back through all of my nature. I usually war with mono teams. So I went through all of my past wars since I've been with 7 Days Ascended and looked at my Frigg every time she got charged on offense and counted how many tiles were on the board that were nature that would increase her attack. And it came out to 43 offensive times she got up to power, and only 9 times was she above 6 tiles or above. Now there were 7 times she was exactly at 5. So 7 times she was kind of on par with Morel. 9 times she was stronger. The rest, she was significantly weaker. So what that comes out to is about 21% of the time she hits harder. So about 1 in 5 offensive hits, my Frigg was hitting harder than Morel. About 16% of the time, she was hitting about the same, and all of the rest, not very good for her. Morel was kicking her butt. Now, what makes this even worse, of those times that Frigg had less than 5 tiles on attack, when I was using her as on offense for attack, there were 8 times that there was either 1 or 0 tiles on the board, nature tiles. So that's 18% of the time she had nothing going for her. So she was hitting at her base bottom, not a very strong attack at all. And that means that basically 1 in 5 times she had nothing on the board, or near nothing. So about 20% of the time there was nothing on the board, and about 20% of the time she would hit harder. So clear, distinctive offensive advantage to Morel, at least with the way I play the boards and enjoy the game. Your experience may vary. Now, if we're looking for defense, the numbers switch the other way around. Now, I had to rely on videos that were submitted to me in war, so I don't have that many. I actually only had 5 times that my Frigg got to full mana on defense that I could count. And of those 5, 1 time she was at 5 tiles, so defending about as well as Morel. The other 4 times she had 7 or 8 tiles, so it was a distinct advantage for Frigg on defense from the attack output standpoint. Now, where things get interesting is when we start comparing the defense down, because they're both defense down heroes. Morel's is fixed at negative 34%. Frigg's is at a 8% and gets 3% added with every hit. So what does that end up looking like from an equality standpoint? Frigg needs to get to 10 tiles on the board to get to negative 35%. So if she can get to 10 tiles, when she goes off, she'll have just slightly more defense down than Morel. So how many times did that happen? Well, actually, in both offense and defense, for my war hits that I counted, that never happened. Not once did Frigg go off with 10 nature tiles on the board. Makes sense on offense, right? Because we're clearing out tiles to get Frigg and other green heroes up to speed. So there's frequently not a lot of green on the board. So again, never once did Frigg provide a stronger defense down on either offense or defense. So Morel is a massive winner there. So the only other advantages that I would give or consider here to Frigg is when you're using her on defense, there is the psychological advantage to the attacker that they have to be preoccupied and concerned with the green tiles on the board. So there is a psych advantage there, which I think is interesting and powerful. I think that's compounded if you happen to have Odin, and there's going to be even more heroes coming out that affect the tiles on the board. So that psych game as to which tiles are on the board may grow. For me, that is not significant enough at this point to give the win card to Frigg. So that said, in my opinion, in almost every aspect of this game, I think Morel is a stronger hero than Frigg. I think they're both strong. Don't get me wrong. I think they're both fantastic. I enjoy them both. But in most places, I think Morel is stronger. I think the place that Frigg would shine and would far exceed Morel is places where we find ourselves tempted to use scrolls of alteration to put a bunch of green tiles on the board. So in the Ninja Tower and on any Titan that you happen to be using scrolls, that is where Frigg excuse me, is going to really shine and come to light. But overall, doing this head-to-head comparison, to me, Morel is a clear winner. What are your thoughts on these two heroes? Go ahead and throw them down in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear what you guys think about these types of comparisons. Thank you.